The Automotive Recyclers Association is proud to present a technician training program to our membership. More than ever, consumers and the entire nation as a whole are very aware of environmental issues. In recent years, landfill space limitations and dumping restrictions have become commonplace throughout the United States. Currently, a number of automotive components are not recyclable and inevitably wind up in landfills. This has resulted in an increased emphasis on recovering parts and assemblies that can be recycled effectively and economically. As a result of the increased usage of recycled parts, landfill utilization can be reduced. A consortium has been established by Chrysler, Ford, and General Motors to study recycling and other issues related to the vehicles they produce. The Vehicle Recycling Partnership researches ways to lessen environmental impact and increase recyclability. Some European vehicle manufacturers also have similar programs that address environmental concerns. An important factor regarding the use of recycled parts and assemblies is that reuse can benefit many industries. As an example of shared benefits, the automotive recycling industry is a valuable and much-needed resource to both the collision repair and insurance industries. The consuming public will come to realize that the automotive recycling industry is also doing its part to protect our environment. With the number of vehicles being dismantled each year approaching 1 million, a means of increasing the use of their components is needed. Currently, the training program developed by ARA provides the necessary information needed by our membership to further increase utilization of recycled parts and assemblies. The ARA Technician Training Program addresses both environmental concerns and marketing advantages for the recycler, repair technician, claim representative, and customer. This training program will also be utilized by the Inter-Industry Conference on Auto Collision Repair. Commonly known as ICAR, it will train recyclers and insurance professionals in the proper utilization of recycled components and assemblies. Upon completion of this training program, your recycling facility can earn the ICAR Gold Class certification, a valuable and highly recognized repair industry designation that will assist you in the marketing of goods and services. By participating in ARA's Technician Training Program, your facility will receive the benefits of an improved business image and increased market growth. Depending on the amount and location of damage, there are many occasions when recycled assemblies, rather than individual parts, can produce a high quality and more cost-effective repair. Many times, a recycled assembly of like kind and quality may make the difference between a vehicle that is repaired rather than being declared a total loss. This videotape will show the installation of a recycled front structure and also show how the TechCore iCar Recycled Parts Request Form is employed. The forms are available for most vehicle types and contain information designed to benefit both repair and recycled parts facility personnel. To be effective, the recycled parts request form must be filled out accurately to ensure that the right cut lines are transferred and the correct parts are removed. The recycled parts request form also shows how extra material should be ordered so that sufficient stock is available for the final trimming operations. In addition to this time and labor-saving form, a classification system used by recyclers to determine the overall condition of needed parts, accompanied by a nationwide database, can expedite locating and delivery functions. Although this videotape will concentrate on accurate and safe collision repairs, the subject of recycled airbags and other safety-related parts has not been fully researched and will not be addressed in this presentation. The vehicle chosen for this particular repair is a 1994 Pontiac Bonneville, one of the models from the General Motors CH body platform. This platform includes vehicles produced by Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Buick, and Cadillac, and represents a high-volume model line. The damage caused by the collision affected many of the components that make up the unitized front structure of this vehicle. Rather than replacing individual components, both time and labor can be saved by installing a complete recycled front structure, including the attached sheet metal and front bumper assembly. Included with the front structure are the radiator, cooling fans, and the air conditioning condenser. By purchasing the entire front section, there is a cost savings as opposed to buying and welding individual components. The procedure for installing a recycled front structure begins with removing the drivetrain to gain the necessary access needed for cutting and welding operations. The drivetrain is removed as an assembly while still attached to the engine cradle. This is accomplished by disconnecting only the necessary mechanical components, such as the computer wiring harness, fuel and brake lines, and front struts. The entire assembly is then removed by raising the vehicle off the drivetrain and rolling it out of the way. The vehicle is then mounted on a repair bench equipped with a measuring device. Multiple pulls are applied to the front of the vehicle while stress relieving is performed to help return the damaged structure to proper specifications. With the drivetrain removed, access to the front structure is unobstructed. Pulling operations continue until the unibody is returned to its correct dimensions. This is how the replacement front structure looks as delivered. Before work is begun on the recycled assembly, measurements are taken to ensure that it is dimensionally accurate. Prior to initial fit-up, the sheet metal is removed and the structure cleaned and trimmed. The front structure will be installed using a lower rail section procedure developed by TechCore Research. The upper rails will be attached at the original factory spot weld locations at the cowl. The lower rail section procedure is described in detail in TechCore Research Bulletin number 94-2. This particular procedure involves separating the lower rails at a factory joint where there is an internal reinforcement. Since the lower unirails of the replacement structure will be attached near the kick-up portion of the rail, the front carpet and insulation is pulled back from the toe pan area of the interior for welding operations. All necessary spot welds are drilled out on both closure panels located adjacent to the kick-up portion of the lower rails. The engine cradle mounting brackets that surround the factory joint of the lower rails are also removed by drilling out the attaching spot welds. Small cuts are then made at the base of the support panel subassembly and upper portion of the rail near the base of the firewall. Spot welds at the factory joint of the lower rails, as well as the spot welds that attach the upper side rails to the cowl, are then drilled out with the appropriate cutting bit. Removal of these spot welds will allow the entire front structure to be separated as an assembly. The recycled front structure is then separated and trimmed in the same manner. Removal of the spot welds with an appropriate cutting tool provides an ideal surface for plug welding after the replacement structure is installed. Before the structure is clamped in place, a weld-through coating is applied to all mating surfaces and allowed to dry. This coating provides initial corrosion protection at the weld sites. unibody dimensions are verified after installation and proper fit-up. This will ensure accurate alignment before welding is begun. Although the upper cowl is constructed with 2 layers of metal, the area inside the passenger compartment must be protected from possible heat buildup and welding sparks. The majority of welding is by the MIG plug method, with only a few small areas requiring edge welding. After welding operations have been completed, weld nuggets that could interfere with sheet metal mounting points are ground flush. The structure is then primed and caulked where necessary before being painted to match the remainder of the vehicle. At this time, the recycled sheet metal is also edged so the vehicle can be partially assembled prior to refinishing. With the structure painted, reassembly of mechanical components is begun, followed by installation of the drivetrain. The outer sheet metal is then installed and adjusted to ensure proper alignment. Upon returning from the paint shop, the remainder of the assembly work is completed, along with the application of corrosion protection material inside all closed areas where welding was performed. Abrasion-resistant undercoating material is also used on exposed surfaces where needed. Following a wheel alignment, a thorough road test, and final detailing, the repaired vehicle is ready for delivery to the customer. Remember, using a recycled front structure as an alternative repair procedure is of equal or better quality and more cost-effective than using new individual parts. Both adjusters and repairers should be aware of this process. If performed properly, this procedure can lead to a winning situation for the insurer, the recycler, the repair facility, and the customer.